All the rules are in effect now. So, welcome back to this episode of Beers and Breakdowns. Got to reach out, right?
That's not how he does it. That's not how it works.
Whatever. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Beers and Breakdowns. You got myself and Abel once again, and we still have our rules in effect because this trip is all about the rules where we are not allowed to cuss. If we do cuss, we got to take a little drink. And if I say, what word?
Am I allowed to say it?
Yeah.
If you say tactics or any derivative of that word,
right,
meaning tactical, tactimonious, if it starts with tactic, you can't do it. He just picked one for me.
I did. I said shoot. I don't know. It's a random word.
He's just throwing stuff to see if it sticks.
Abel likes cameras, and you can shoot with cameras, and you can shoot with guns. So, because we can see where this bottle's at now. If you've been watching the last couple episodes, it started up here. And most of these are mine, unfortunately.
I haven't been drinking it, so
we just took a little break, and now we're back.
I had to go get a beer because I'm falling behind here. I'm pretty sober. Did you even say what we're doing?
No, it's a secret. No, we're doing today another episode of a show that I forgot how good was. A show that I forgot how good this actually was, man. We're doing The Brave. You know, Sean and I reviewed one a few months back. This is a show that came out at the same time as SEAL Team, man. And SEAL Team is such a great show. It just kind of got overshadowed, and this show didn't get renewed for a second season. But going back and rewatching it, I said it on the last one when I started these two shows, this one and SEAL Team when they came out, this was my favorite show. And towards the end of the season, it got a little weird and kind of lost me. But right now, this is the best part of this show. And so we're doing episode 2 right now. And I'm so glad to go back and rewatch these because I think it's a good show.
Because you guys have gone through the military. You guys are both Green Berets and you guys know tactics. Oh.
Ah! Ha! Ha! Ha!
Oh, yeah?
Tequila Ocho! This is hilarious.
Oh, my God. That's what I get for speaking.
You know what? I can't pick one because all of these are my favorite, so I'm going to let you pick one of these statements. So, part of the deal now, Abel said the T word, so he has to not only take a shot, but now he gets to read a statement that I have prepared for him. This is 100% coming from his heart. Everything he says is exactly how he feels. So, go ahead and read one of these. I don't know what he's about to say.
It's funny, I guess due to the irony of it, Meek Mill is my hero. I don't listen to rap. I will never listen to rap. And so, I mean, I guess we're lucky that I know who Meek Mill is. But
I told you you wouldn't get it. He doesn't understand.
How is this?
If you guys want to explain to Abel the Meek Mill reference right now, you can go ahead and leave a comment down below.
Oh no. Oh, that's the pop culture thing. Okay, I get it.
Gotta get the lid.
We're friendlies, okay? I'm just gonna ask you a few questions. Is it all right if my medic examines you while I do?
Yeah.
She knows what she's doing. Passed herself up pretty good.
All right. What's the name of your neighbor's dog?
Lola.
And what street was your high school on?
West Oak. My turn-ons are long walks on the beach. My turn-offs are people who kill my friends.
All right, so we got 2 things going on in this scene that I thought were pretty cool. So the first one, I feel like we've talked about it on another show. I can't remember which one it was, but he's asking her these questions as the other guy's patching her up. And so she's a CIA agent. She's overseas. She's in a hostile area. And, you know, they're now coming to rescue her because she's in danger. And so they're asking her these questions to verify her identity. So before we go on deployment, we fill out what's called an ISO prep or an isolated persons report. And during that, in the ISO prep, you're supposed to write down, it's like 3 or 4 statements, and you write down these statements, and they're supposed to be able to pull 3 questions out of it. So like one of mine was, my first car was a red 1998 Chevrolet Cavalier, you know, with a couple other things. And so out of each statement, they're supposed to be able to pull 3 questions. So they could say, what color was your first car?
Oh, okay.
What was your first car? What year was your Chevy Cavalier? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And by doing that, they're able to identify and be like, okay, this is the person that they say they are.
Okay.
And so that's the ISO prep, which I thought was pretty cool to see in the show. And the other part was the medic who he's patching her up and he's writing down her vitals on that little armband and then strapping it around her. And so basically what that's for is 2 purposes, really. If he is going to be the medic in charge of this girl for the rest of the exfil, now he has a reference point. So he's going to every, so often, like 20, 30 minutes or whatever the time period he chooses, he'll recheck her vitals, relook at her, and then he can go back and quickly reference and see if they're changing up or down.
Nah.
But also, if they are passing her off to a higher echelon of care, he's also got the time on that. So now the other people can do the same thing. They could be like, well, 20 minutes ago, her heart rate was this, her blood pressure was this. And so it's cool to see like little details like that normally you wouldn't think of to put into a show like this. But I'm guessing they had a pretty good advisor on the show.
Yeah.
That was like, hey, little things like this, which SEAL Team does a good job at too. But it just shows that, it's, the realism is there.
Except for them making sure everybody knows she's got skills.
She's got skills.
Okay.
Hey, girl's got
He
skills.
said it multiple times. No, it's because she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, no, because girl's got skills.
Yeah, they do lead pretty heavily into that because this whole episode is all about how skilled she is.
like-
she moved at the right time. But she also took out all the assailants as well. So,
Well, I'm not saying she doesn't have
hey,
skills.
girls got skills, man. Girls got skills.
I'm tired of this.
Yeah, she's number 2 in her class. Why?
Right now, we have two choices. We either send it a full-blown QRF, which immediately escalates this into a major international incident, or we trust that Dalton can find Connor quietly. Knowing how good Connor is at handling herself lets me know.
Girls got skills.
Cassie's a rare breed. So good, the bosses at Langley sent her straight to the 9 area operations. Made her one of the youngest field officers in history.
But the girls got skills, though, right?
That didn't seem very skilled to me. All she did was take out 2 people she could have waited on and she got stabbed.
She did. She did get stabbed. But so what I thought, what I wanted to talk about on that one was they kind of like real quick glossed over it. But when she asked when Anne Heche, is that her name?
Yeah, I was about to talk about her.
When she asked the other guy, she's like, oh, you went to the farm with her or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like what some people might not know is the farm is a reference to the CIA where they do their training for like their operatives and stuff like that. They call it the farm. I think it's in Virginia, Williamsburg, Virginia or something like
Because
that.
like, why would you call it anything that makes any sense, right? You would
Right.
obviously change it to something different and then call it that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not a secret. It's you can Google the farm, CIA the farm, and figure it out. I think it's actually Camp Perry or something like that in Williamsburg, Virginia. But it was cool. They just kind of like glossed over it. But that's where they do their secret squirrel training for the CIA.
I have a hard time believing Anne Heche. Like I don't believe in her character. Like when she starts talking, when she said QRF, I wanted to throw up in my mouth.
Oh, I like Anne Heche.
I can't take her seriously.
I think she does a good job in this show,
I don't think
man.
she's doing a good job as the head of whatever she's doing right now. I don't think it's not believable. I'm not buying it.
Oh, wow. I think it's a CIA team. They're called the Omega team in this show.
Yeah.
And it's a team that's made up of former Delta Force operators, CIA operatives, and other like tier 1 element people. And she's kind of the lead of it. And I think she does a good job. So
Work with love business. Are you bad for business? Nie nравится, когда все выигрывают.
okay. A lot of old SF guys, like the Vietnam era generation SF guys, and still to this day, a lot of SF guys wear Rolexes. And, one of the things that I always heard, which nobody on my team wore a Rolex or anything like that, but a lot of the older guys, especially the officers you would see, but something we would always hear is that they wore Rolexes so that if anything happened overseas, like you got stranded or you had to evade or whatever, that now is currency.
Yeah.
Because no matter where you go, you can turn that in and, like he did.
Sure.
This is a sign of goodwill that he basically gave to this guy for some information. But same thing, like you have a Rolex, you can use that as currency. You don't need cash at that point. So
I wouldn't necessarily wear it if I'm in the middle of an operation.
just keep it in
That's
your
just my
pocket or
opinion.
something.
I wouldn't have a possible $15,000 timepiece on my wrist. I think that might kind of remove the gray man factor, but I definitely keep it.
Like, he's wearing a Rolex.
I'd have it in my bag.
I don't know, man. I never had one. I always wore a Sunto. It was like $200.
When I stop like this, it's asking you a question without asking you a question. Is this good enough?
Sure.
Would you like me to go closer? What would you like to do?
25.
For some reason, after so many years, you and Sean don't get it. That when I'm going and going and going, and then I stop, it's for you to look at it in that little box right there. You see that?
Oh, wow.
It gives you a view into what is about to be shown, and that's where you say yes or no.
Drink.
God.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
I'm doing this. I'm not taking an entire glass.
Oh, Abel.
Oh, God, that's nice.
It's so smooth, right?
That is good.
And the great thing, you know, for all of you guys, we're not sponsored by these people yet, but the great thing about good premium, non-additive tequila is that it's clean. It's got antioxidants.
Yeah.
And if you're going to drink liquor, this is the one to drink. A good tequila.
And when you wake up in the morning feeling like poop, it feels like organic poop. I prefer...
What?
I prefer to bottom from the top. Meow. I don't have a problem with that. If you like guys,
It's not disparaging.
that's
Abel.
perfectly fine, right? Okay.
I just think it's funny when people say meow.
All right. Well, I don't ever want you to talk about how your notes are good and mine are.
All right, start here. That was a good one.
I don't know.
Start here.
I don't know about that.
You cannot ask Dalton to find a needle in a haystack. Intel is our job.
At least we know Zabarov still hasn't got her.
That is no comfort. Zabarov outlives us
With this
21
corduroy
years for
jacket
more
on.
nutrition. We've got to find out where Cassie is hiding.
Noah, you were with Cassie at the farm, so you did street work and SDRs together, right? Who was your instructor? Corey, Waters, Vega?
Vega.
Okay, Vega's aggressive, but he's all about deception first and then contact.
Anticipate where your enemy thinks you're gonna go, then do the opposite.
So in this case, that would be to
All
move
right.
Cassie away from her points of safety. The CIA.
All right, so Cassie is now on the run. She's trying to evade these people, and she's talking about their time at the farm together. You did street work and SDRs. SDRs is a surveillance detection route. And so that's a technique that people use. I thought I was going to say the other bad word. That's a technique that people use that when you think you're being followed, or if you're not sure, or if you're just trying to go somewhere in a non-permissive environment, it's a technique that you use to identify if somebody is following you. So it's certain routes that you'll take. SDRs can also, it can be something quick, or it can be something that takes 10, 18 hours, right? So you could do a long SDR, but it's something that you do that will help you identify if somebody's following you. So when she's talking about, you know, you learned SDRs together, she's trying to figure out what techniques she might be using. It's so hard for me to talk and also think not to say the word that I'm not allowed to say.
I'm trying to process what you're saying, but I'm also just waiting for you to mess up and say the word.
I'm trying to speak while also in the back of my mind dance around using that word, so it's kind of like hard. But yeah, that's what an SDR is. And again, it's one of those things they kind of gloss over, but it actually adds to the realism and the value of the show.
Top, we might be clear, but she's not. You need to put her someplace ASAP. She needs blood and needs it now, man.
I need blood. Oh, this is your wheelhouse.
Welcome back.
You guys again. It's really been making a bad impression.
Quite the opposite. Girl, you are badass.
Girls got skills. So what we have there is a classic case of the walking blood bank, which I know you're familiar with because we've seen that in other movies and shows.
We have.
But it's one of those things, man. It's a legitimate technique.
I think it was in Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, it was. So it's a last resort. But hey, she was about to die. Obviously, they had the same blood type, so you know, out from one into the other. And now my question, I've always wondered this, is if you give blood, does that mean it takes less drinks for you to get drunk that day?
I would say yes. That same day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I think that if you remove blood before it's reproduced, I think that it would take less. I think that you'd just be weaker.
Well, you have less blood, so
overall.
your percentage is going to be higher. So I mean, it's a hack, right? If you're short on cash, you're in college, right? Just bleed yourself out a little bit.
Cap it off. And then
This
go out to the bar.
is all.
Spend your $6.
Don't do this and say that we told you to do this. This is all theoretical. But if you were to drop a little bit of blood, then you could drink less and have the same effect.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut that part out. I don't need anybody dying because they were just like, the FNG Academy said if I just slit my wrist for only 10 minutes instead of 22.
Why is it turn into Tom all of a sudden? Yes, this is good, Abel. 34-48. That's a perfect spot.
Thank you. Now you know.
Perfect spot.
Fuck, I had to force it down your throat.
You just said the F word. He said the F word.
Wait, what did I say?
You said the F word.
What did I
F-U-C-K.
say? What did I say?
You said, I had to force it down your throat.
No, you can say it. I'm not going to. What did I say?
You said, fuck, I had to force it down your throat.
Did I really?
Yeah. Run it back. I'm catching them now because I'm already like 4 shots up on you.
I will now read, in the famous words of Sean Buck Rogers, I will now read my statement.
Woman's heart.
I'm not going to say that. One of my goals in life is to satisfy no fewer than 3 Navy SEALs at one time. So far, my best is 2. I feel like I didn't say it right. I'm going to say it again so it's clear. One of my goals in life is to satisfy no fewer than 3 Navy SEALs at one time. So far, my best is 2. Okay, so I might have had a little bit to drink, but what does that mean?
Nobody knows what it means. It's provocative.
I don't suppose you guys came up with a plan for what to do when that happened.
We have a plan. We got plans for plans. It's just we never anticipated the numbers being so stacked against us.
Here, you're good to go, Top.
Hey, talk. You're reading my mind. You think that'll work? I do. All right.
This is one of my bones with this show that I have to pick.
Okay.
This guy has a terrible habit of not briefing plans to people. This is a no-fail mission that they're trying to escape from enemy territory.
Yeah.
And he's the one guy just looks at him and he's like, hey, Top, huh? And the other guy's like, you're reading my mind. And when the new guy's like, so what's the plan, basically?
Yeah.
And the chick's just like, it won't be subtle. Like, tell me the plan.
Right.
I need to know. I'm part of the team now. Like,
It's
these
like-
people need to know what's going on.
Clearly, we have a couple of minutes, right? And we've got time. Like, we're all sitting in a place where we can talk.
Yeah.
Why not mission brief?
It's like you're trying to be mysterious to show off to the chick who's got skills. I don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah, I do that.
And yeah, right. It's like, oh, he's so mysterious. That's the thing the show always does. And on this episode, the first episode, the next episode that we're gonna do, we see the same thing over and over. Like,
You
they
know
have
when he's
an
gearing up
issue.
and walking off? I feel like he's
Yeah.
just going outside and he's going, hey, is she asking about me?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, man. She's asking
He's like fixing
like-
his hair and everything. Like, your hair's perfect, bro. Your hair's always perfect.
Because also, what are the odds that they could actually execute this the second they thought of it, right? So they probably have some time between like when they're going to prepare for this and actually execute the plan.
Yeah.
So he probably just went outside and sat down and was just like, hey, is she looking for me?
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
yeah, she thinks you're cool, man.
Yeah.
And then now he has to sit out there for like, I don't know, what, 6 hours and pretend he's prepping a plan?
Can't walk back in. It's like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing. Like, no, like, come on, just let me know the plan.
Oh, let me tell you about dudes in the military.
Yeah.
I know a couple.
Yeah, and we're not going to get into the whole women thing, but I'm not Sean. Anyways, that
I
was...
thought I was taking his place with the misogynistic stuff, but
no.
you can absolutely join me if you'd like.
I will not. That was The Brave, episode 2, Moscow Rules, which we kind of glossed over, but I didn't know what it was at the time. I had to look it up. Moscow Rules is basically an old spy term for assuming that everybody is hostile and basically not taking anything for granted and always being on high alert. So that's the name of the episode.
I like Moscow.
I like Moscow Mules. All right, guys. We'll see you on the next episode of Beers and Breakdowns. Woo!
Oh, boy. Hey.
Oh, buddy. Oh, boy.